person can only focus on so much information. The thing about looking at some of these local issues is I feel like I understand the city so well, and that the city is missing people in the right places, either in government or in the media, to be that voice of reason or common sense. That, hey, it's not just me. There's actually an editorial that just came out saying that Portland is one of the kinkiest cities in the U.S. And there's another report saying that a well-known protester in Portland has been accused of rape, and he's been involved in some of the more disrespectful activity at some of the Michael Brown Ferguson related protests in Portland, like that time, and this is in my last YouTube video, where protesters, just fringe protest, a small group, went to Peacock Lane, and some of them were singing "Deck the Halls with Rows of Dead Cops." Fa la 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 la. Oh, great! You know, act like a provocateur. Give something for the media to seize upon. What I'm saying is, I can speak against that, and that could seem really controversial. Where I can talk about other things like Portland's dark side and seem way out there. And in this last year, especially in the last month, I've seen a lot more voices in the media, local media, Willamette Week, Portland Mercury, in some cases. There was a cover story on the explosion of transplants in the Portland area, and they kind of drew it and described it as like a chaotic scene. You know, it's like in some cases I feel like I'm a man before my time, where I'm talking about things and people are like, yeah, you're crazy, and then later on, other people come around to go and say the same thing. But I don't hear people say, well, you were right, or you're not crazy, or, you know, I used to think this, but now. People used to do that. But society's changed, and even when people know they're wrong, they don't necessarily say anything about it. They want to be right. And they want to be pissed off at the messenger. And even if they're proven wrong, and even if they hear perspectives from others that, yeah, actually Portland is a really twisted, kinky place. Yes, the sex trafficking problem is getting worse. Yes, this really is a new California invasion like nothing that we've seen before. Yes, the local city hall, Portland City Hall, also known as the Portland Mafia, is absolutely corrupt and is primarily working for the real estate interests, and I'm sure many others. Which reminds me, there's not a lot of updates on Terry Bean. And Terry Bean is a real estate tycoon in Portland who was arrested in the last month, along with his 25-year-old boyfriend, for having sex with a 13-year-old boy down in Lane County, which I believe is Eugene, so it was outside of Portland. You didn't see anybody protesting that. Not in Portland. Silence. And I've been trying to pay attention to the Terry Bean story. I go to Google News, you know, I type it in, I see what the latest is, and I still keep seeing that November 25th story from CNN. And you know what it is? Top Obama fundraiser. Right. He was the top fundraiser for Barack Obama from the state of Oregon. Boom! Sex with a 13-year-old boy. He also happens to be the head of a gay rights organization. And this in no way, as I'm sure if you know, was an attack on gay people. But isn't it funny that we keep seeing people like this in positions of power? This is a part of Portland's history. And this is what I've been trying to get through on Access TV. I mean, you see the passion. You see just the intensity. Like, folks, don't you get it? Because, just in case you don't know, and I'm sure a lot of you do, when I'm on Access TV, I'm talking to a Portland audience that, for the most part, a lot of these people watch TV. A lot. They watch a lot of TV. A lot of them are watching CNN, they're watching Fox, they're watching entertainment, they're watching movies. A lot of those movies are propaganda. So, in the remaining weeks to months that I'm in Portland, I want to keep bringing up these Portland issues that deal with society, and let synchronicity do the rest. Because I know I'll share a story here in a minute. But I know from testimonials from people in the past in Portland, when people have tuned in at a certain moment. And that one story I was going to share is, one day I'm going hiking somewhere. I'm at a river in Sandy, Oregon. And these guys are there, and this guy recognizes me. He's like, "You're that guy. I was watching your show on Access TV, and the craziest thing is I was sleeping, and the TV was on. It was on the Access TV channel. Your show came on, and you're yelling at the top of your lungs, and the show's playing in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a rerun. I'm yelling for people to wake up." And the dude was actually sleeping. I actually woke a dude up yelling, "Wake up," and my show was on. And the next day, I just randomly am at the spot looking for a place to stick my feet in the river on a hot July day. And this guy's there. And he was with a couple of friends. We went to McMiniman's out in Troutdale for a few beers, and then I just came back into Portland. Synchronicity, the craziest things. I never saw him again, and in many cases, it's not necessary. It's just an exchange of energy, just an acknowledgement of another human being. And having a moment of conversation with someone that is somewhat aware, that happens to be, for whatever reason, at the right place at the right time to have that conversation. The universe sets up a lot of interesting stuff for us.